Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. A few months back, I made a video about fountain pens and many of you seem to like it a lot. There were a couple of comments in the videos which I thought of taking as suggestions and then making this follow-up video for it. A lot of you have suggested another pen that I should try out, which was the Camlin Trinity fountain pen, and that's one of the pens that we have today with us. And also the Flair Inky Carbonix, which I thought was a great budget pen to try out as well. Along with that, many of you have also said that the Camlin ink is not really very good for the fountain pens, which I had no idea, so thank you for letting me know. But I still have like this entire bottle of it and I don't want to waste it, so I'm just going to use it as fast as possible. And also I found this Jinhao black ink lying in my drawer since ages and I just did not know that I had it. Many of you might know that I was an art student in high school and my sketchbook tour video is available here, you can check it out. So yeah, I guess this was from that time. And I'm going to try out these two inks on the Camlin Trinity because this is one of those piston filling kind of pens, and the minimum order quantity for this was 5, so I'm just going to try it out on 2 of them. And the Flair Inky Carbonix comes with its own cartridges, but I will see if I can fill this in also with one of these two because this also had a minimum order quantity of 2, so I can try it out with one of them. Let's try it. We're going to do the Camlin Trinity first. First impressions, the packaging was kind of flimsy, like it came in a pack of 5 and most of the boxes were pretty bent out of shape, but the pen is fine, so that's okay. And this looks pretty royal. I mean, each pen is for 160. The body of the pen is pretty good. It has this barrel kind of body which most fountain pens do, and it's very nice to hold. I will write with it and then we'll check it out properly. And it claims that the nib is like 24 karat gold plated. I mean, it looks good. We'll see how it works. Let's check out the Flair pen now. So Flair Inky Carbonix is not really packed in a box or anything. It's just one card and then the pen and the cartridges are in a plastic casing. So let's see what this is like. So this is a thick pen as well. It's not exactly the shape of like the barrel which the Trinity has, but it feels good in the hand. It feels comfortable. I like the body. And oh, this is really unique. This is like this empty space where you can probably see the level of ink. It looks really cool actually. I did not expect this. I have never seen a pen like this, but the nib looks really nice. I'll show you a close-up of the nib. But yeah, it's a very unique looking nib, so I really like it. And let's see how the cartridge will probably, yeah, so this is where the cartridge goes. So I think it's time. Let's fill the ink and get to work. Always scared of making this super messy. So I took out 3 of the 5 pens. One is black, one is green, and the other one's blue. So I just thought that since we can fill multiple kinds of inks here, this is one of those pens where you can fill in by the ink bottle or you can even use the cartridge. So I'm going to try one of these, the Flair's cartridges, for one of the pens, and the blue one obviously I'm going to use for the blue ink and the black one for the black ink. So let's see how that goes. And one of you in the comments also had suggested that I was not filling in the ink correctly, so thank you for letting me know. So I'm just going to do what they had suggested. I had no idea that you could do this also, but let's see. Okay, thumbs up. This was a great idea. It's definitely way less messy than last time. So yeah, you live and you learn. So in case some of you are new here and you haven't seen the other video, this is the kind of fountain pen which has the piston filling mechanism. So essentially you dip the whole thing in the ink pot and then you slowly pull it up so this fills with ink and then it's good to go. Let's see. This was a little more messy than last time. By last time I mean when I filled the blue ink. Now onto the final Camlin Trinity pen, which we will try with the cartridge we got from the Flair Inky Carbonix. So I'm just going to remove the piston. Oh, it probably won't fit. So the Flair ink cartridge did not fit because it was a jumbo cartridge and it's a slightly bigger pen. So I got the Amazon Basics pens cartridge, and just to try it out, because the Amazon Basics pen actually is not good at all. It leaks all the time. So I just thought maybe let's give the cartridge a chance. And then finally I have already pierced this cartridge from the Flair ink pen, so might as well fit this one in. This is a really classy looking pen, I'll give you that. It looks really nice. Actually reminds me of Reynolds Trimax. Okay, so I'm done filling the ink and let's give these a try. This is for the Camlin Trinity. Okay, so first we'll start with the Camlin blue ink pen and let's see how that does. I think Camlin pen do really well with the Camlin ink. It glides really smoothly on paper. I'm not going to do the smudge test because it's just like proper ink, so obviously it's going to smudge a little bit, but it flows so smoothly on paper and it does not, there's no friction. And even the pen feels really nice to hold. And let's check it out. I don't think you can see this, but there is barely any ghosting and absolutely no bleeding, so that's great quality. Let's try out for the black Jinhao ink, and now I'm just testing the ink quality because we already see that the pen is amazing. So this was a little messy because there wasn't enough ink and I had to dip it too far into the bottle, but still, like, it writes so well. It writes really smoothly and the ink flows out without any kind of obstruction. It's great writing experience. And now we're trying out the Amazon Basics cartridge on the Camlin Trinity pen, so let's see. It's actually not that bad and it's not leaking yet, so I feel like maybe the pen was weird, not the cartridge. So the cartridge works pretty well with this pen. It looks good. I like it. And now let's try out the Flair Inky Carbonix. Let's see how that does. Definitely a more sharper, like a micro tip sort of a nib, and the writing flows out like it had some obstruction in the beginning, like the ink took a while to come to the nib, but then it flew out very easily and it writes well, but I don't see the smoothness and the the butter flow of a fountain pen that you see from the other three. So yeah, that's my observation of this. Maybe it's more like a controlled flow, so this will definitely not be smudging. And let's check once. There is like zero ghosting or bleeding, so it's a very nice, like, reliable kind of fountain pen which you can trust that it will probably not overflow the ink and things like that, so that's good. And one more thing, people keep comparing the Camlin Elegant and the Camlin Trinity pens, so I thought of doing a little comparison for both of those in detail. Though I did a detailed review of the Camlin Elegant in the video that I did a few months back, so I'm just going to write with it now and do like a side-by-side comparison of what the Elegant versus Trinity looks like. So I'm just going to write one line and then test it out with both pens, and just it's going to be a longer sentence so that we can see how it holds up. Let's do it. First, let's check the obvious things, is if there is any ghosting or bleeding. So as far as I can see, there is really faint ghosting and no bleeding at all. And now coming to the kind of writing, so you could see that the Elegant took a little, like a fraction of a second to get started. The Trinity was already flowing with ink very smoothly, probably because I just filled it. And then you can see that the ink from the Camlin Elegant is darker and the one from the Camlin Trinity is lighter, which is really weird. I have filled it from this exact same ink bottle, so I don't know why this one's a little lighter than this, but it is. And I think both of them flow really smoothly, but the Camlin Trinity one, the ink flows out a little faster with little less control, so it has greater chances of smudging. and the Elegant seems a little more controlled flow, so maybe, you know, when you're writing quickly it would not smudge on your hand. That tends to happen. And in terms of like what they feel like in hand, this is definitely a thicker barrel and a more comfortable hold for a longer time. And I actually journal with this pen almost every day now, so I can vouch for it that it feels really comfortable to hold. The Trinity looks like a really professional kind of pen. Like I can imagine me or my dad taking it to work. It looks really nice, and this would like easily fit in your pocket. And that, I mean, you can write with it, but I don't know if you can write with it for a very long period of time. This one I've tried for about a month or so, so I can say that it's very comfortable. And in terms of tips, both of them actually look pretty similar. So they're pretty fine tipped, and the writing comes out as such. I think it comes out really nicely, and it doesn't leak onto the other page, so that's like anyway a great thing. So that was the video, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you got a few more suggestions for fountain pens to add to your collection, because I am clearly growing my collection here, and I really enjoy writing with these pens. And I kind of feel silly that throughout all of my educational life I never really tried them, but now I am exploring this world and it is amazing. I actually feel like I'm some professional writer when I'm writing in my journal. It gives a very luxurious, very grand sort of a feel when you write with these pens, and the writing quality itself is great. You don't get annoyed because it will get stuck or you have to hit it several times. That doesn't happen. So let me know in the comments down below if you have any more suggestions for me to try, and I will see you next week. Bye.